Hi and welcome back to my channel. It has been a very long time since I've been on here. Yeah, like it's been quite a while since I've been on here. I don't even know why. I'm not going to get into it, but my New Year's resolution was definitely to get back into YouTube, so here I am doing what I said I was going to do. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to our podcast. It's basically just me and my two friends having girly chats and having laughs and talking about some real stuff as well. We've called it It Is What It Is because that's kind of what our motto is for 2020 and for 2021. I'll pop all the information up here and all the links down below. So I'm going to just get straight into the questions then. The first one is, whose idea was it to start your podcast? Loving it, by the way. Thanks. I think it was actually Rachel's idea. We were actually at my house at the end of the last lockdown, after the last lockdown, just making cocktails and having I made a wee cheese board and just having chit chats. And we got into a pretty deep conversation after a few cocktails, and Rachel just came out with like, let's start a podcast. And because our chit chats are always really good, so we were like, why don't we just record them and put them up on Spotify and let people listen in. So we thought it was a great idea, and we pretty much just got to planning straight away. It was, you know, the way when you have drunken plans in the girls' toilets in a nightclub, you know, do you know those kind of chats, and you're like, oh my god, yes, let's plan a night out, let's book a holiday or start a business, and then the next morning you're like, that's not happening. No, just not happening. But this time we successfully went ahead with a drunken plan, and we literally that night got a pen and paper and just started writing ideas down and content ideas and how we're going to do it. We were quite aware that the possibility of a new lockdown coming up was going to happen, so we were planning ways how to record when we weren't together. There's a few of us want to go traveling as well, so we were planning ideas on how to do that whenever we're going to be in different countries. So yeah, we pretty much got to planning straight away, and within a couple of weeks we had our first episode, and now we have 4. So I'm absolutely just loving it, and I just love sitting chatting with them anyway. And I do get a little bit nervous recording on here and on the podcast, but when you're with your two best friends, it's just so much more comfortable. You feel so much more relaxed having like actual genuine chats with your friends, so you just feel like you can be more like yourself, which is really nice. You struggled / are struggling with lockdown. I think I definitely struggled with the first one, but I think I also learned a lot from that one for this one. Obviously at the time I didn't think I was going to be in another lockdown, but I remember before the last lockdown I was working flat out, and when I wasn't working I had other responsibilities, and I just like was feeling really exhausted and run down, and I just was thinking to myself, I just need a holiday. Like I need 2 weeks to do nothing, not even to go on holiday, just to do nothing. And then I just got 6 months holiday. Literally. And then I remember my manager saying that there's going to be a lockdown and the possibility of us not working is quite high, and I was like, I was freaking out a bit, because obviously, you know, like losing your job is like a really scary thing. But yeah, like, so whenever I went into that lockdown I was thinking happy days, holiday, just what I wanted, to do nothing. I'm not even allowed to go anywhere, so this is the perfect excuse to do nothing, and I literally done nothing. The only problem was I carried that on for like the whole lockdown and done pretty much nothing, which is definitely not good for your mental health and your self-confidence and all the rest of it. So although it was good, I definitely learned that this lockdown not to do that, and to keep myself productive and continue on exercising and you know, even YouTube, keeping it up. And I've obviously got my podcast as well, which is keeping me busy. So so far with this lockdown I've literally not even had a minute to think. I'm constantly doing something, getting up and doing something. Aaron's the same, he's continuing on with his work, and we're just both flat out. So thankfully this lockdown I'm struggling a lot less, but yes, last lockdown I struggled big time, and also not seeing your family. I'm with Aaron both lockdowns, and although it's amazing, like I'm really close with his family as much as I am with mine, but you know, you do miss your own family. In the last lockdown I didn't see them for like 3 months straight, even my little dog and my nephews and my sisters. Yeah, it was really tough, but thankfully I'm feeling a lot more strong mentally for this lockdown. What are your New Year resolutions? Just to pick up small habits that will make bigger changes. I read a book last year called Atomic Habits, and this was like maybe around January time, before coronavirus was even, well, it was a thing, but I didn't know about it. I found it so useful, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try developing small habits that will make big changes. And you know, you can really see from this year last year compared to this year that those small habits really have made big changes. But the only thing is, I didn't develop that many habits. Obviously there was a pandemic amongst it all, so I was definitely sidetracked a bit. So I've reread that book. Well, I'm in the middle of rereading it, and that is my New Year's resolution, just to develop as many small habits as I possibly can, like things that will take 10 seconds to do, a couple of minutes to do a day, and just see down the line how much of a difference it's going to make. The little habits that I'm developing are like at least 20 minutes of exercise a day. You know, and that could literally be a walk. Like, I don't even care what it is. If it's a walk, that's fine by me, but chances are I'll probably do more than 20 minutes a day. So if I could just do that every day, and then I'll see like the changes that come in a few months down the line. Cleaning your brushes, which will make a huge difference to your skin. Drinking lots of water, well, like 2 liters a day. Making sure I take my vitamins every day, because they really help with my skin. And you know, just wee little healthy habits. So this one is an assumption. You aren't as confident as you come across. I didn't even think I came across as that confident, to be honest, but I'll take that. I don't know if like that's in an arrogant way. Like, I obviously want to be confident, but I don't want to come across as like arrogant. Yeah, well, I would say that I have phases like where I'm feeling like I don't care, like I accept all my flaws, I'm just like accept me for who I am. And then I feel like really confident in those times. But I guess there are times, yeah, where I'm going to compare myself to other people, and that obviously is a big thing with social media. Like, looking through social media and seeing all these amazing girls and just thinking, I'm lying in this bed here with, you know, biscuits and crisps and dip watching Netflix. Yeah, I definitely go through phases of being confident, or like not in an arrogant way, but just like accepting my flaws and embracing them and not caring what people think. And then I definitely go through phases where they really annoy me, and I'm like looking up surgeons, not to be dramatic, but, or else looking up like getting my hair redone, or you know, trying to figure out ways to get rid of my flaws, which, you know, if they're really bothering you, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that, but I think it is important to try and accept them and just be confident in your own skin. So yeah, you aren't naturally ginger. I get this a lot, like a lot, and I really am. Like, I am full on ginger. Obviously now I have dyed my hair a bit darker. I did dye my hair a little bit darker back in September, and then I got it redone in December, which I think the hairdresser said because it was my second time getting it done, it took to it a lot better, so it got really dark this time. But I really like it. I like having dark hair. So but even before I dyed my hair, yeah, I got so many people saying, specifically boys, saying, you're not really ginger, are you? You're like a brown. And I'm like, no, I'm ginger. I think whenever I'm fully tanned and I've got my makeup on, it makes me not look as ginger. But whenever I'm like, when you see me, if I have all my tan scrubbed off and I have no makeup on, compared like with the white skin to my ginger hair, I just look more ginger. But yeah, I'm born ginger. I'll even pop up a baby photo here to prove it. Another assumption, you are a picky eater. It's a really random assumption. No, I'm not a picky eater at all. I'm not like, I wouldn't eat anything, but I'm definitely not picky. I would eat most things, and I'm not that kind of person that has to have their food separated. The only thing that I can think of that I would refuse to eat is beetroot. I can't have it, and that's only because I ate it when I was like really sick as a child, and then I ended up bulking pink chicken, and chicken noodle soup I'm a bit weird about, because I bulked up pink chicken noodle soup as a child, and it's just put me off them both. So yeah, I wouldn't eat either. Specifically beetroot. I'm also a little bit fussy about seafood, but that's really it. Other than that, like, I love all vegetables, all fruit, most meat. I'm a bit funny about chicken, but that's only kind of come over the past year, but I still eat it. I just would pick other meat over chicken. What else would I be fussy about? I mean, like, if I went to Thailand, I wouldn't eat half the things there, but like that's... What is your job? My job, I am a marketing assistant. That's kind of just what I done at uni and went on to do after uni. So yeah, you are a girl's girl. That's a nice assumption. I would say I am definitely a girl's girl. I think it's so important to have your friends around, because they're just there for everything. Even if you're in like a serious relationship, stick your friends around, because you know, relationships have bumpy roads, and you're going to need your friends during those times, and they're going to be there, and they're the ones that are going to help you through those hard times. Yeah, and even during family problems, they're the ones that are going to help you through that. They're the ones that are going to be there to give you fashion tips, makeup tips, boy tips, all the rest of it. And honestly, you just can't beat a girls' holiday as well. Me and my friends love going on a girls' holiday just to, you know, get away from everything, relax, drink cocktails, shop, all the rest of it. Definitely a girl's girl. How do you manage your job, family, working out, YouTube, etc.? I literally don't. I find this so hard. I'm still trying, and literally I haven't uploaded since September, so I don't know why you're asking me this. I find it so difficult, honestly, and it really stresses me out. Just trying to stay on top of everything. There's literally not enough hours in the day. I did get a diary in January, which is my first kind of diary that I've started to use, and even now I'm slacking on using it, but the days that I did use it, I found it really helpful. So I am going to try and keep up with that, you know, starting like creating like a to-do list at the beginning of the week, and just making sure that that to-do list is done by the end of the week. Yeah, I just like to make a list of things to do at the beginning of the week, and just make sure that they're all done by the end of the week. It doesn't really matter what day I get it done, because things never go to plan in my life. I don't know about anybody else, but you know, if I thought, right, Monday I'm doing this and this and this, Tuesday I'm doing this and this and this, like, that's not going to happen. So as long as I get it done by the end of the week, that's kind of my thing. It's the only advice I have, because I'm honestly so terrible at managing everything too, so I don't really know how to help you there. Another assumption, you hate doing makeup. I don't hate doing makeup at all. I actually really miss doing makeup, and that was my New Year's resolution, to get back into doing makeup. Not on other people as such, because I just don't have the time to be taking appointments again. And I didn't enjoy it as much as I think doing makeup on other people almost took the joy out of makeup for me. Like, it was a hobby, and then it kind of turned into a stressful job, and I didn't like that. So I prefer to just like have it as a hobby and do like little makeup looks every now and then, and just kind of keep it fun and relax, and not try and make a career out of it that kind of way. I actually done a makeup look today. And I just stick to simple makeup looks as well, because when I make them like too overcomplicated, and it just stresses me out, and it takes all day long. And the competition out there is crazy. Like, have you seen those talented people on Instagram? Like, I bloody deal. Like, they're just so good at it. Another assumption is you and Aaron never fight. Never. Never ever. No, of course we do. We're been together almost 6 years. We live together. We've been through all kind of aspects of life together. Of course we fight. We've had our wee arguments. You know, we spend, especially during lockdown, we're spending 24 hours together. When you have bad days and you come home, you're going to really take it out on the first person you see, and that's Aaron. So, and that's me for him. So of course we fight. It's normal to fight, as long as you know how to like communicate afterwards and point or realize when you're wrong. I think that's a big thing in a relationship. If the fights get a bit too far or they're over things that are maybe a bit toxic, of course, then that's maybe a red flag that you should be concerned about. But no, if you're fighting over little things or just because you're in a stressed out mood or a grumpy mood that day, no, it's nothing to worry about. It's not like we fight all the time, but we definitely fight sometimes, just little petty arguments. You are really positive all the time. Like, I think I used to be a lot more positive than I am recently, but it's not a bad thing either. I think me not being so positive recently has opened my eyes a lot to how people feel, how difficult it is to be positive all the time, because I used to find it a lot easier than I do now, and now I realise it's actually it's really hard. And I think it's also really toxic to be positive 24/7 and forcing that on people, because, you know, it's okay to have a bad day. We talk about this a lot on our podcast as well, that it's okay to have a bad day. If you want to chill out in bed and just like feel the feels, feel the bad feelings, eat the chocolate, get a cup of tea, glass of wine, whatever helps you wind down, do it. And then the next day get up and try and be a little bit more positive. But forcing it on you whenever you're in a bad mood is just going to make everything worse for sure. So yeah, I would say I'm as positive as I try. I try to be positive, but you know, I'm human. It's hard to be positive all the time. You are very close with your family. Yeah, I would say I'm pretty close to my family, and that's why I find it so hard during these lockdowns, because I can't see them as much as I would like to. Or like the last lockdown I went 3 months without seeing them, which is quite intense. But luckily I'm actually really close with Aaron's family as well. They're like a second family to me, so being with them has helped me get through these lockdowns. And yeah. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? I would say the older I get, the more of an introvert I become. I was definitely an extrovert as a child, and during my teenage years, like I always wanted to be out with my friends and was very outgoing. And then the older I got, I think I just became more of an introvert, in some good ways, in some bad ways. I think I definitely kind of isolate myself sometimes without even meaning to, and then I get annoyed at myself for doing it. But whenever I'm out with my friends, like I'm loving life, and I'm just like, why did I not just come out before? So I would say I'm in between. Like I have moods when I'm an introvert and moods whenever I'm like, let's go out. I think at the minute I'm like an extrovert, but I can't be an extrovert, which is very frustrating. What are your goals for the next 5 years? I mean, if you asked me this last year, I would have had a whole plan. You know, I just don't even know anymore. I used to have loads of goals, but ever since this whole pandemic, it's like difficult to have goals, because like when are you able to, you know, follow through with them? My main goal though is to travel and, you know, see other countries and get to know other cultures. That would be my #1 priority at the minute. Obviously it's impossible to do that at the minute, but all I can do is just save and hope that it will be able to happen in the near future. You hated school. I didn't hate school. I think I wish I could go back now and just know all the things that I know now and I would be fine. But I guess, yeah, I didn't enjoy it that much. I think first to fifth year or maybe fourth year I actually really loved school, and then sixth year was just like hell for me. I was like, I can't wait to get out of here, like get me out here now. I remember my little cousin who was near below me saying to me that her friends were scared of me because I always had a grumpy face walking down the corridors in school. I was like, that's just because I'm like hating life, not anything to do with being grumpy, or I'm not trying to be rude to your friends. I'm probably just thinking into my head like, fuck my life, fuck my life, fuck my life. Literally. But yeah, I hated sixth year. I don't even know why, I just hated it. I think I was just so done with it by then. Yeah, other than that, I remember like everyone older than me was like, oh my god, don't say that, you know, when you leave school you're going to look back and think, oh, like I wish I was back at school, why did I hate it, why did I not like make the most of it and all the rest of it. And honestly, I'm like 5 years out of school and I just would never go back there. Like, I'm done with that shit. Done. So guys, that's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I didn't ramble on too much. It was my first video in a while, so bear with me on that. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and also go and check out our podcast. It is what it is with Holly and Rachel and myself. I'll link everything down below.